Oh, making that one.
Okay. Ready? Let's go.
Let's fire it up. Dead.
Hello, everyone. Hello. How are you all doing today? Welcome. Welcome, one and all. I don't know why I'm doing this voice.
It's okay. It's just, it's like you're that creepy dude that's in like that creepy mansion on Halloween.
Oh, yeah, the dude that's like wearing a butler outfit for no reason, even though the house is like empty.
He's got a huge humpback, and he's got like a really long, pointy face.
And a tiny arm.
What I'm talking about?
From the Scary Movie?
About, right? Where it's like, he's like, hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to my humble abode.
My humble abode. Yeah, you're right. You know.
You guys know. Steve?
Welcome in, everybody. We're doing a remote session of the Exp Talk Show. Lee is at his humble abode, and I am at my humble abode. And for all of you guys who are unfamiliar with the show, I am KonkyTalks
64. And I'm R2 Lee 2 by the thing you see below us, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And this is the XP Talk Show, a science-fueled talk show that happens every week with my buddy Lee. The whole point of the show is to initiate thought-provoking discussion and share awesome scientific discoveries. Me and Lee are not experts. We're just very passionate about how all this stuff works. And love sharing the information with all of you guys, with each other. And that's really how it started, So we call it the XP because the whole point of this thing is to share experiences, be it scientific, personal, philosophical, whatever. And then we just try to do our best in staying on topic. But having ADHD is kind of, what me and
so it
Lee...
makes it good.
Makes it good, yeah.
It makes the content last. It makes it fueled and makes it fun.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because you'll just see us like go off on tangents that, from like a viewing standpoint. Because I think about our show like objectively a lot. You know what I mean? As if we're not in it, right? Obviously. So
right.
When I think about it objectively, I just think like, what makes people like want to watch it? Right? I know it sounds silly, right? But the reason why, and we say this just about every week where it's like, the reason why I love doing the show is because this conversation that we're going to have, and we always do have, is like a conversation we'll have anyway, outside of doing this show. So, yeah, but what makes it fun and entertaining is that like, we do have those ADD tangents that are just like, they just go off, and we always have it filled with stuff. We always have some sort of point to say, and we're just getting all this just Gilgamesh that's in our brain, and then like make it into words and stuff, so you always have something to think about. So
right,
so this stuff is churning in our heads, so we hope it churns in yours too.
We want to churn your brain full of XP.
Yeah, and I will say, dude, like, so I'm checking the stream over on my other computer over here, right? And boy, this webcam really made a difference.
Yeah,
I'm so happy that I got it.
Yeah, dude. Gosh. Yeah, you're not super washed out or anything. Right. You look good.
Look at that. Look at that skin. Look at the skin and the. Everything's good, man.
Coco Box, welcome in. One Hand FPS, thanks for the congrats on hitting our maps goal. Yeah, for those of you guys who are unfamiliar with the stream, in terms of like what we're about, when I'm not doing the XP Talk Show, I do just stream games, and I try to spread awareness around some really awesome charities that I'm a part of, and one of which is called MAPS, the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies. We hit 100% of our goal. They have a treatment that cures PTSD. You can check out all the research there. Currently, they are in line to get their phase 3 trials completed, which means it could be a feasible treatment for people who have PTSD. If you guys have any questions or anything, please let me know. You can always DM me or just ask in the chat. How do you feel about involving the chat a little bit more, being that like you and me are in separate locations, and I feel like we do this But like it starts to happen just naturally because like
responding to the chat, you think? Or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
like,
we'll choose spaces, obviously, you know.
You might see me do a lot of this though.
Uh-huh.
You know? Because I don't have the cool dual display. I mean, I could actually. I'll just fucking do it here. I'm a monster.
No, you're good. You're good.
Like,
I can always bring it up too. I can always bring it up too. You know, like that's. If you need me to be more of like a host and shit, like to bring attention to things, I can do that.
Oh, I got it, baby. No worries.
Chris Koft, welcome in, dude. Good to see you. Yeah, so we've got a few topics we're going to talk about, and then we're going to probably play some games afterward. I think Overwatch has their winter event still going on, so it gives us some last chances to get some skins that we maybe don't want.
Or junk skin. I need it.
Do you have 3,000 gold yet?
No, dude. I don't make that cash like you do in this game.
Oh, yeah. I have a lot of duplicates, so it just, like, comes in.
Right? So you get the
cash. That's a lot of hooch, as you would say. Dude, you got me saying that a lot. Like that's
a lot of hooch.
That's a lot of hooch.
Because it's just, yeah.
If you guys can do me a solid, one thing that we like to do prior to getting started on the show is if we could get some help getting the word out. If you wouldn't mind retweeting, even just liking the post brings it into your feed of people who are following you. And hopefully, you know, somebody sees that and they come in. A lot of this show and a lot of the audience that we've gained has come from other people hosting the channel, other people who have retweeted us. I have had a few people who come in through Twitter and have joined in the scientific discussion here. So, yeah. But before we get into all the science and all the things that, you know, we usually get into here at the XP Talk Show, we like to recap our weeks and let you guys peek into what we've been feeling, what we've been doing personally. So, Lee, how was your past week, man?
Oh my gosh. Past week was good. Oh boy, yeah, it was good. It was oh man, we had
New Year's?
Yeah, we had New Year's. Like that was obviously such a huge thing. So, little backlog here. I work retail, and I don't think I have to say much more than that from a standpoint of when you work retail after Christmas, but you know, during the holidays, it is the most stressful time in the entire year. You know, Friday's got nothing on like Christmas and after Christmas. So this year was just particularly insane, you know, off the chart. So many people, so much stuff happening. I started to realize that I've got like a soreness in my hip because of
it's probably lower back pain.
Well, yeah.
And well, I mean, just give you perspective too. So your
like a hip flexor, like my hip flexor.
Yeah, but your hip flexors are tied into the back of your legs. So if you like try to reach for your toes, just standing up, you're gonna feel that pull into your like hips. So all of your tightness, like. A lot of people don't know this, but all the tightness in your like hips, in your back, and like your groin all come from the lower half of your body, and it's totally from standing around all day and walking on that fucking cement.
Like 8 hours a day walking up. I mean, it's just like so. I was just feeling so. It was emotional. I was becoming negative. You know, like we've talked about that before, where it's just like you just turn into a person you never want to become. And it just I couldn't avoid it because of just everything that was happening. There was that, and then it was just like the physical exhaustion because I worked 6 out of 7 days. I had Christmas Day off, and then and surrounding that it was 6 out of 7 days. So like then it was just so that was. So then it was Christmas, or it was New Year's Eve that I had off. I had New Year's Day off, and then I had yesterday off. So needless to say, I had like a beautiful amount of time just to be a fucking vegetable.
Nice.
And just like do nothing. So like Joe Bash, I have like insoles and like I've tried good shoes and stuff. Right now it's like winter time, so I can't really use like my running shoes, my like Adidas shoes right now because they'll fucking get destroyed. But you should bring a pair of extra shoes. I should. I'm thinking about it, but it's like, but that's the thing. It's like it was never really a problem
until holiday season
because of how busy and crazy it's been. So
and you've been working overtime, right? Too.
I was straight OT.
Yeah.
So it was nasty, but like so having those 3 days off, I got lucky having those 3 days off, which like sit on the couch, just fucking catching up on video games. We're gonna talk about one of them in a little bit.
Yep.
But the New Year's Eve thing was like a blast, man. We had.
Do you still have your mask, by the way?
No, I left it at the party.
No worries, no worries. Yeah,
I left it at the party on purpose. So if you guys didn't know, we went to a masquerade party. It was so much fun. Mary Jane showed up to the party.
She's always a good time, dude.
It's a blast, right? So it was a masquerade party, and I had a Predator masquerade mask, which just like was a hilarious hit. But then I just like took it off because it was annoying to wear, and I just like put it up on a window. It was funny. But they were playing. So they were at the party. They were playing beer pong, right? And two sides to that, right? So was it filled with beer or was it water? No, they did the water thing. And
okay, good.
From yours, right? This was like inside a Chicago apartment too, so it was very interesting. But like two sides to it, where it's like it was a super blast, like super fun, friendly competition and stuff like that. But like going into it, like, and I'm not gonna try to sound negative here, but like
yeah.
This is all like 30-year-olds at this point.
Sure.
31-year-olds like playing beer pong. I just felt like it was, I don't know.
Okay. You were starting to feel the age of it.
Right. I was just like, really, guys? Like beer pong?
Yeah.
Like like forms of entertainment seem to have been limited. Like, it seems like they're listed.
I gotcha. Yeah.
But it was still fun. Don't get me wrong. It was a blast. It was good people to see. So that was a really, really good time. Didn't feel like garbage on New Year's Day.
Good.
Which I was very thankful for.
Nice.
Most people are, but we felt great. And it was just good to relax. And then tomorrow night, getting some cocktails with friends.
Heck yeah, dude.
Good week, dude. It's been a good week. What about yourself, man?
So yeah, I mean, I had New Year's as well. Usually we have like, we go to somebody's house or something, to sort of like to have a good time, essentially. I mean, like, that's always the goal, right? It's New Year's Eve. You want to celebrate with the people you care about and all that stuff. And over the past like couple years, I've had a few friends who get too carried away with the whole drinking thing. And I'm not saying that I don't have like strong friends, but there's definitely like a sense of people joining in or like resisting. And I mean, let's just say that the people that have still been like doing that stuff, like they're not as close to me as they used to be, and for good reason. They're trying to work on themselves, and they're doing a very poor job of it. So all I can do is like be there for them when I can, and hang out with them outside of drinking, because I don't want to encourage like a negative behavior, right?
Yeah.
So last year during New Year's, we left like one of those parties at like 12:30, got a ride back home, and I just had this like poor taste in my mouth about like the whole situation, because like it was just it was some weird confrontational shit. So this year we set out to have like a really relaxed time, and we ended up having a really cool experience the day afterward. We went to the grocery store with my buddy James. James, one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And we went to we got some fine meats and cheeses and wines.
Ooh.
We sat around, had some charcuterie, and watched the Raid 2 Kung Fu movies. Super badass.
Sweet.
Just had a few beers.
It's gorgeous, dude.
And then some nice kind of serendipitous thing happened that was pretty cool. I don't know if I'm using the right word, but
serendipitous is good, because it's euphoric. There's another.
Is that the word for it?
I mean, well,
it was kind of like the planets aligned, so to speak. So, we weren't planning on staying up super late. We stayed up till about like maybe 1:30, and my sister's boyfriend had bought tickets to the Winter Classic, which is the they go out. There's an outdoor hockey event.
Oh yeah. I had a couple buddies that were at that.
Yeah. So the Blackhawks and the Bruins were playing, and originally his stepdad and mom were going to go to the event, and they both had gotten sick with the flu. So he offered us the tickets, which was pretty cool, and so we got to experience like an outdoor hockey game, and it was pretty badass. Like we went up to Indiana at Notre Dame, like this huge campus with a lot of history and all that, And it was just cool, like being in that environment and seeing everybody play in like a kind of traditional sense. And I was thinking about it in like more of like it was like a gladiator sort of event, like all these stands with people like all around shouting and wanting their team to win. And dude, everybody was reacting to everything. And I'm not like a big sports person. Like I wore my Slurms jersey, you know, like, for those of you guys who don't know, like I'm not super into sports. But I have a hockey jersey, one hockey jersey that is a Slurms Mackenzie jersey from Futurama. And on the back, it says Konky Dong with the number 64 on the back.
Wait, you got that with Konky Dong 64 on?
Yeah. Let me show you. Hold on.
Yeah, please go find this. So while he explains that, so obviously, you know, it's maybe one of the last places you find a bunch of sports nerds, but at the same time, you know, we love to appreciate the sports in general. I'll watch it sometimes, you know, but it's not, I don't know. It's just something I can't get into, I think, but I'm very interested to see this Slurms jersey. Check this out. Oh, fuck, dude, that's crazy.
That awesome?
That's amazing. Where did you get that?
So there's this company called geekjerseys.com and they do like a few jerseys and stuff.
That's crazy.
And it fits really nice. Dude. Like it's a legit jersey with like stitching and everything.
Geekjerseys.com?
Yeah.
Dude, unofficial shout out to geekjerseys.com.
Yeah, they did a really great job, man.
That's pretty sweet. I'm gonna have to look into that actually.
Yeah, about that. I was looking forward to. I got the jersey because I knew that they do primarily hockey jerseys.
Yeah.
And I was hoping they were gonna do like a bomber, like from baseball and stuff, because it's Slurm. You know, like
yeah.
I just Futurama Blurns ball. That's what I was thinking. So.
Dude, this is so. Forgive me for just checking this out real quick, but this is fucking dope. These are dope.
Yeah, right, dude. They've got a Star Wars jersey in there. Like they even have like Slayer, I think, too.
Steve, why the fuck did you not get the Donkey Kong one?
Well, I like Donkey Kong, but not like I'm not like a big fan. Dude, Futurama is like my fucking bread and butter, man. I love. I hear you, dude. Yeah, I love Futurama more than anything else.
Dude, that's so fantastic. I do see a Star Wars one, which is amazing.
Yeah, they do a good job.
Yeah.
Josh, thanks for posting the link in the chat, man. You're always on top of it.
Thank you.
Welcome in, dude. Seriously.
Spaceman one. Okay, gotta stop. Yep, gotta stop. We can't keep watching it. So, oh my god.
Yeah, man, they're super great.
Sweet. That is super cool.
Mm-hmm.
You got to experience that, but
yeah. And then as far as like everything else in the past week, I just I've been primarily hanging out with family and loved ones. We hit 100% of our goal for maps. 100%. So we raised $1,500 in like a 7-month period, and then in the last month. I was planning on doing like a big donation like stream, but chose to spend the time with my family instead, and I just contributed the remaining amount. So
you're crazy, dude.
Yeah, I was just like, well, we'll get the Twitch payout, and that'll take care of like the payment that I owe and still and it's only right, man.
Just so you guys know, he contributed $40,000.
No, that's not true.
40,000.
That's not true.
It's impossible. That's amazing, dude. And I know you got a lot of love on like Twitter and stuff, and I know that people were saying in the chat, but like truly, the consistency of how much that you talk about maps and like how much you have been an advocate for them, and like you just the knowledge that you have on them is incredible. So like obviously this kind of stuff like pays off quite literally and figuratively. So I urge everybody, and honestly that was inspiring to me. And here's what happened, because like when I was hearing about that goal and that win, I was thinking to myself, it's just like if and when I get my Twitch page up to somewhat of a standard that I expect of myself, then like I would look into some sort of like space, scientific research organization or whatever that I could advocate for. And I guess just for everybody out there with their pages, like they have that same ability too. If it's something that you believe in,
yeah,
something right that you believe in, and they're doing things great for their community or for the world or for their country or whatever it is. Like you can do that, and all it takes is just like what Steve's doing is just consistency. Know your knowledge, like have the knowledge of it, have the knowledge of the organization, have your knowledge of that organization and stuff like that, so that you can speak to it confidently. This is a very MAPS is a very unique organization, and this particular study is a very unique study, and it's passionate to Steve, and so he made some movement with it, which is incredible. You can't just do this. You can't do this all willy nilly.
Well, I want the idea is kind of like the show that we have here, It's like, I think it's amazing what they're doing. Personal, it's personal as well, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Like I have friends who have dealt with it. I know that I have some spectrum of that to a certain degree, right? From abuse and trauma or whatever. But there's it's cool to see that there's amazing science being done. And more importantly, I get to share that information with everybody. And I don't know, man. Oh, there you go. Planetary Society.
Oh my God, would I fucking do that in a heartbeat?
Yep. There you go. You can do it, man. It's 2019. You can do that shit.
Yeah, that's a goal for 2019 for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been awesome. That was probably I don't know, that's probably my
that's that week, dude.
Yeah, man, it's just been great.
Yeah.
It's just been a good
thing, though. You missed one thing.
What did I miss?
You and I and Leia and Lane.
Oh yeah,
ourselves a little cozy night.
Yeah, yeah, that was great.
Yeah, right. And so I had asked Steve and Leia to come hang out Sunday night. Right, this is the night before New Year's Eve. I haven't seen my two baby sweets in a while. We haven't gone out. We haven't done stuff. Right. And so had this whole thing where I was just like, yeah, let's hit the town. Let's go out and do stuff. Steve had an unfortunate mishap with his driver's license, so we were limited on places to go. However, and here's what I love about you guys, right? If I were to tell most of my friends, hey man, do you want to come hang out and just watch movies, hang out? They'll be like, Dad, I don't know.
I got better things to do.
Right, especially if you guys had to make the drive to come into the city. So I truly appreciate your guys's just commitment to hanging out, even if it's something that's so silly and so.
Well, to be fair, when it comes down to me hanging out with you, and I handle this with anybody that I'm very good friends with, I know that every experience that I'm going to have with you is going to be a good one, and it's regardless of what we're doing. And I consider the way you interact with people, and I'm just gonna, everybody should know this, but Lee positively affects everybody that's around him all the time. It's just one of those things where he has an impact on your life, and I don't think I don't know. It's those are the people that need to be in my orbit, so to speak, more often.
Bravo, bravo.
And I feel that's just something that you can consciously do. You if you know this person's gonna make you feel great about yourself and what you're doing, and why not indulge in that? You know what I mean? More often than not.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. And almost the way. So this is kind of more of the encouraging side to those out there that are trying to find the right people, even if it's just hanging out with us on this stream or whatever. It's if you be selfish about it, and to some degree too. I'm a very give kind of person, and I love to make people feel great and stuff like that, but when I hang out with people too, I'll have a layer of selfishness to that experience where it's just I want to gain something, right? I want to have a good time too. You know what I mean? So it's so Steve, I feel the exact same way, when you come hang out and everything, it's it's always going to be a good time. No fuss, no Gus, no sugar nuts. What's the phrase?
That's it. You got it.
All right, cool.
But yeah, that's been our 2 weeks.
And it's good, man. It's just and so just what did we watch? What did we watch? I forgot what we watched.
Dude, we watched the best amazing movie ever called Skyscraper.
Oh, that's right.
That's why you forgot.
That's why.
Totally forgettable movie.
So that movie was fucking garbage.
Oh God, so it was so great. Come on, man. The tropes were so easy to identify before we even started.
Yeah. It's a predictable movie. So
we did most of our drinking in the beginning of the movie when we were just like, "There's blueprints." Like,
right. Dude, that was fucking hilarious. So we played a drinking game to the movie Skyscraper. So if you guys haven't seen Skyscraper, featuring Dwayne the Rock Johnson, right? It is just a movie, right? And it's basically I couldn't even explain.
It's just an action movie with what you would expect, like
with skyscrapers,
yeah.
Right? And so like
Ruben, thanks for the host, bud.
Oh, sweet. So decided to play a drinking game to it. So some of the rules were someone's hanging off a ledge.
Yeah.
Naturally, in the poster of the movie,
he's hanging on a ledge.
A lot of people hanging off a ledge.
Yeah.
And then the other one that I really like, those were the only two rules that I was okay with, was the fucking schematics. It's like anytime we'd see blueprints on the fucking screen, which was way too many times.
All the time.
So it's like, so we would see just even the faintest hint of some sort of blueprints. We'd be like, schematics, and like,
I did think they were gonna do flashbacks more, but I was like, flashbacks, we gotta do flashbacks, and then the beginning of the movie was an entire flashback. So I was like,
to say,
yeah,
it's a great,
Thanks, Ruben.
It's a great movie to drink and have fun, and
yeah,
just like be with your friends about.
You know what we need to do? Like, I really want to do like a drinking game with like a Liar Liar or like Ace Ventura.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm completely okay with that.
Or maybe just like, invite Mary Jane over and just like laugh our asses off, because
I'm ready to giggle.
Dude, When Nature Calls is the greatest comedic movie I think exists on the planet.
So Jim Carrey is absolutely one of my heroes, without question. Like, not only just like how weird he's been lately, like really connected to his subconscious
psychedelics.
Really, totally, he's down that path. But like, at the same time, so not only does Jim Carrey remind me of my dad, like physically and mannerism wise, he like really reminds me of my dad. But like, growing up, like, Jim Carrey was so weird and over the top that it made me want to be like that. Like,
same.
Just in general, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, so I remember seeing like, When Nature Calls and Liar Liar, and like these movies where he's just animated. He's so fucking animated.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to be like that. Just like be goofy and like not give a shit. And like, and if you say something weird, don't get embarrassed by it. Just go with it.
Yeah, it was like, cool to see an adult act like act like that. And it's just, I don't know, a testament to like what that man built. Like, he made a persona and character that is goofy and charismatic and all that, and it was something that was attractive to pretty much anybody who was growing up like watching those movies.
Yeah. So then he built an identity.
Right.
So it's like, I hate to compare this to Robin Williams. Like, I mean, you can't really compare, but Robin Williams is the same way. So like,
he was,
if and when Jim Carrey passes away, he could live to be 200. We don't know, but like, that's going to be heavy.
It's going to be heavy
because it and so it's inspiring those kind of humans out there that take it to such a level that has never been took before, so
right.
Is like, those are the people that you aspire to, and those are the people that like you have to truly invest your time in and either want to be like or take samples from and make it your own and like just fucking take on the world and just truly not give a shit about what people say.
Bless you, child.
Muscoozy. So, but that's awesome. Yeah. So we saw some good movies. I'm okay. Sorry, I got some in my sock. I'm okay with the Jim Carrey marathon. Totally cool with that. Spend a day, right? Invite some friends over.
Let's do it. Time, It's gonna be winter, cold as fuck. January and February, like the worst months, bro.
Yep. Chicago winter lasts until May.
Yeah.
So, which is weird. This winter was very weird.
It gets weirder every year, dude. Like, we barely get any snow, and then like in the middle of February and January, like we start getting pelted with snow, maybe. Who knows what'll
I can't
happen,
wait.
and then it dries out.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be
I want
crazy.
there to be a winter wonderland.
It's gonna
Everything
happen,
is
dude.
winter
With the global
wonderland.
warming, bro. It's bound to
Shifting.
happen.
Everything is shifting, right?
Um,
We got stuff to talk about, dude.
We do, yeah. I mean, we usually talk about this before the show, but because we are doing a remote session, we kind of started once you got home. What do you want to go through first?
Good question. I think that we're kind of all over the place. So I would say let's start off with the game that we want to chat about.
Okay.
And then we can kind of, I don't know, we could.
We'll figure it out. Let's start from there. So, Lee, you got to play a game that I got to experience in full. And let me just say, prior to what you're going to say, Detroit Become Human is one of the most rewarding experiences in a video game that I have gotten to do. I can't really think about a game that has left an impact on me quite like that one.
True.
So tell me your thoughts. Like, what was your impression when you first started the game? How much did you know much about the game before you started playing?
So a little bit, and like I knew a piece, and I want to hear your side of it too.
Sure.
From your experience.
And there's going to be spoilers in this shit.
Not so much. I won't do very many spoilers because I'm like very new into the game, but I played it
right.
So like those few days off, I had some time to myself,
Mm-hmm.
and so I played like maybe like 3 hours of Detroit Become Human, and God, like so impressed, like professionally impressed that I got a game that I could play at my own pace. It's not like difficult.
No,
you know what I'm saying? It's not difficult, but yes, to your point, it's rewarding. And so I'm very new into it, so I don't really have too many spoilers, but I'll kind of give people like the surface level. So if you want to go in blind to this game, put us on mute for a second, okay? But so so I started playing this game, and the most that I knew about it was watching you play a smidge. Which, by the way, I got to the level that I watched you play.
Okay.
I don't want to explain it because it kind of would give stuff away, but but I barely knew anything about the game, like mechanics and fundamentals, right? So I didn't know how the game like progressed. I didn't know if you were like, you're running around and, jumping around, do all shit, whatever.
Right.
So it took like a split second to get used to. So essentially like you play 3 storylines of these different androids in the not too distant future, where androids are just a part of society. It's one of those like, yes, thank you, Joe Bash, for the spoiler alert. It's one of those, not too distant future, a robot, becoming conscious kind of storyline. I like it. Did you put me full screen? Oh,
I did, yeah. Yeah, because you're talking, so like it just makes sense.
Okay, I gotta make sure I look good for the people, man. So you follow these 3 storylines of these 3 different androids from 3 different perspectives, which I also really fucking loved. But this whole game is choose your own adventure, right? And you are the sealer of your own fate because of it. And so what I felt through this, so it's basically like, you're doing very basic gaming mechanics. I chose like the casual play as opposed to like the heavy hitter one. I might potentially revisit the game again. Like I already want to play it over again, basically. But what I loved about it is that like, so you're just, a lot of the game is really just like, press X, move over here, move up to this, press this, interact with that, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And you're having conversations with people, and you are doing the choose your own adventure through conversation, right?
Right.
Now, normally what happens with the choose your own adventure is that it's just kind of like, it just makes the dialogue different.
Yeah.
But I feel wholeheartedly with Detroit Become Human that the whole game would change depending on the decisions that you make.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? I feel that. I don't know that because I haven't lived those other paths, right?
Right.
And so they did this brilliant thing on that note where at the end of each like mission or end of each like, little story plot point, they give you this tree of what you did in your path of discussion of choosing your own adventure. And it also brilliantly shows you what you didn't do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
it shows you like all the possibilities.
All the possibilities, right?
Right.
And all the hidden things that you don't know. Like they even hide stuff that you couldn't that you had to discover yourself, right?
Right.
Through exploration. So it's just like, it's so brilliant because now it's like, oh fuck, well I'm interested to see where the story could have gone
Right.
if I chose this other route, right?
Yeah, because the whole thing can change entirely. You don't know.
100%, right? And it's like, and so the way that I'm approaching this, and like I encourage this with people that might want to play it, is like you could play the 3 different storylines like differently in your control. So if you want to make one like a piece of shit and one really good and another just like, whatever, you can
Right.
do that. You could totally choose your adventure completely,
Yeah.
and you're creating the story, it feels, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? And so that's just like the structure of the game is just amazing, right? And that's on top of like the visuals on it are off the chart. They're beautiful.
Hmm.
The mocap stuff is on point. The textures and details. I'm playing it on a 4K TV and it just looks unreal.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And it's just like it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing on the start. The audio's great. And just I don't know, like it's just like, oh man, it's the structure is incredible. So I love it. I can't wait to play more. I am like invested.
What
Um,
how far are you in the game? Did you get to meet all 3 characters?
yeah, I've met all 3 characters, and I'm probably, if I to put a ball, like just to roll the dice, maybe like 20%, 25% in.
Okay. Is there a character that you like align with more than one of the others?
So I dig Connor so far,
Okay.
who is the most advanced android that is a part of the police force
Right.
and the detective force. So it's kind of cool to like play detective through an android.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's like a
Hey
cool character. But
Yatsubasa.
that's the
Hey
thing is
Miami
like,
Bros.
so the 2 other characters, Kara and Marcus,
Hmm.
are also really cool in their own way because they have their own stories.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just it's just it's fast. It's so fascinating. So
It's cool. They make the world like really believable, right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Like it's
100%.
just you're thrown into it and automatically. And I don't know, like it's kind of like how Blade Runner did it, where like
Oh yeah.
all of this shit just exists and everybody's accepting it. So it's like, oh yeah, I accept that too.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and they blend like real world with that kind of neo futuristic world so well that it is super
Curry, thanks for the
believable.
host, buddy.
And that's just why I love sci-fi in general. So like I had Elaine, you know, watch me play for a split second.
What's up, Miami
And
Bros?
and also a little context is that Elaine does not like video games, like
Yeah.
whatsoever. You know what I mean? Like not interested at all.
Yes.
Like a little frustrated with me most of the time that I'm playing. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
It's at that level, and I wanted her to experience this because it's like playing a movie.
Right.
You're 1,000% just playing a movie.
It's
And
an
there are
experience first, and everything else is just you just happen to have a controller in your hand.
totally, yeah. And so I like, oh my gosh, got her to a point where she's like, oh, that is kind of cool, and I'm like,
And you're like, who are you?
who are you? You know,
That's super
It's
great.
a magical game, right? So it's a
Yeah.
magical game. So I'm glad that you asked, not only just so I could just hype this game up, but like, but about this game, when I had kind of this like pseudo epiphany
Hmm.
when I was playing it, and I don't know if you felt the same.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that like, so the progression of video games, right? Just since, I mean, I would say since the 90s, because that's when video games like truly just fucking exploded, right?
Yeah.
So you have, so who are the kids growing like as kids in the 90s, right? Our generation, it's like the 30-year-old kids, and 25 to 40, let's say, right? That kind of lived up into those video games. So we just grew naturally into it, right?
Right.
So what I love, and Detroit Become Human is an example of it, is that it's 100% like story and character development and mature is the
Right.
point of it. You know what I mean? From a video gaming perspective, So
Hmm.
the reason, so it's just like a fascinating thing because like all the kids that grew up in the 90s are now expecting a different type of video gaming experience. So all the people that are making those who are also grew up in the 90s, like they're the ones that are like, we have to make something that just blows the mind of these people, right? So I just thought of it as an interesting progression in the video gaming industry, is that like we've gone past like the fun, like really tough and stuff like that video games, and we're
Yeah.
starting to see more of these video games that are solely based off of like beautiful story, unbelievable visuals, and just next level stuff that impress the older generation and a lot of the kids these days, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well,
So
the next step is going to be like the VR experience and that sort of thing.
but VR, the only problem is, so like, yes, once they make VR like uh 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 untethered, beautifully high quality, less limitations and all that kind of stuff, woo, that thing is gonna fucking be stupid.
Dude, it's going to be so good. Like, I would like, so they could do it technically with Detroit Become Human with like how everything pans out. The difference being obviously like, if you were going to do that, I think the only way it would work would be you're seeing from like a person's perspective. And, oh, what's up, fucking Brian? Dude, thank you for using your Twitch Prime. Oh, wait, no, you're not Twitch Prime. Dude, you just subscribed with tier. What's up?
Sweet goof.
DD Mega Doo-Doo. Oh my god. Do you know who that? Do you know who? Do you know what that's from, Lee?
D Mega Doo-Doo?
Yeah.
Fuck, what is it from?
It's a Vine, or at least it's a Vine. I think it's like some short video, whatever. This newscaster is reading like a story about some death of like a police officer, and her name's like Deidre like Megvin Dow or something, and she just straight up goes, hundreds of people are mourning the death of police officer DD Mega Doo-Doo.
Oh my god.
And she like read her name wrong, or it was in the teleprompter wrong, but
that's awful.
It's awful, but
that's awful. But
pretty
hilarious.
Funny.
Needless.
Anyway,
yeah.
But Detroit Become Human. So like
so buttery.
Yeah, man. That was the first game I cried in for a while.
Oh,
like
shit, really?
that was like
wow.
I don't know how far you got into. Is it Kara? Is that her name?
So Kara is a very emotional storyline, like already what I've experienced. And like so this is what I'm not going to spoil.
Mm-hmm.
But there are like I don't know how I can describe this without kind of spoiling it, but like just the progression of these like android characters, like when they're coming to themselves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like the way that they go about it is just like, oh, like when it happened, there's a moment.
Yeah.
Where two of the characters happen, and
it's like a pinnacle moment. It's like emotional breaking.
And it's just like I was sitting there like, oh.
Yeah,
isn't it? So,
yeah. Kara's like whole storyline, like I have it all highlighted. I didn't cry like during any of the like lovey like emotional stuff. It was all during like there's like traumatic moments essentially. These cornerstones is the word I use from.
Less is more.
Don't spoil, right. I'm not trying to spoil anything.
I gotta live those moments, but
it's like these cornerstones that like break that. Help those characters develop into who they are further, and man, dude, that shit was super intense, and I was swept up in it because it hit close to home. You know, it was really great.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like they have this is like 40 years in the future, and they're still hitting on like emotional things that happen today. You know, which is just magical. So it's like they have the perfect just ingredients put together to make this awesome game. And actually on that point of just like crying during a game, like ask somebody 10 years ago, 10, like that you'd cry to a like not so much just like you love the game so much, but like because of how much emotional it is, right?
I'm trying to think, like I don't even know.
It's hard to pinpoint, but it's like
2008.
The first thing 2008, 10 years ago is kind of a bad example at this point, but like 15, let's say 15. But I cried.
I got a game.
Like I cried at fucking Last of Us, and the reason being was because of these huge advancements in video graphics and motion capture and stuff like that. Where what truly gets emotion, and this is a real throwback too. So like, long story short, ADD side tangent here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I went on like a little binge of like these YouTube videos that are like top 10 best movie shots in history and stuff like that, like those crazy cinematic, best cinematography, best audio or soundtrack, whatever it is,
Right.
And they're fascinating. I forgot what the YouTube page is, but one of the things that they highlight was like some of the first close-up shots of somebody expressing emotion.
Mm.
And it was in this like Joan of Arc movie from like the 30s or whatever. And so like close-up shots were unheard of in film at that time because they didn't have the budget for it, they didn't have the technology for it, and it was all just like stage performances.
Sure. Yeah.
It was like, and that's even how film was. It's everything was shot from afar, right? So some of the first shots, and there's a shot of Joan of Arc, the actress who plays Joan of Arc, and she's like crying and emotional, and that was like the first time that anyone had ever seen that. And what conveys that emotion and gets you sucked in is the emotion of the performance.
Right.
You know,
well, I mean, I would disagree to a certain degree, and I kind of agree with Yatsuba on this one. So, like, graphics can drive an emotional reaction because it makes the world more believable. But in the end, I'm thinking of a game. I was like 10 years old, and it was the first time that I was exposed to it. So, like, really, it has to do with the experience, I think, that the game is providing, right?
I don't disagree. I think it's just because those, even when the graphics were bad, it was still the performance of that performer. It was whether there was the voice actor.
Right. It was the curated experience that the game developers had made, right?
But I'm just saying that the advancements in these visual graphics just make you lose yourself even more because of just you're thinking past the fact that you're playing a fucking video game.
Right.
Because these graphics are getting so real. And you're like getting lost in how real it looks, and you're like getting shocked about how real it looks. That on top of these amazing performances by these motion capture artists and the voice actors and all the rest, it's just a perfect melding of all these different things it's so good.
Oh yeah,
so, like, I'm just excited to see the future of this potential and it getting better and better, and then seeing movies like this. Like I want to see movies like this. Give me a theater where you have mocap actors that you could create any visual that you possibly could imagine, to the point where like on Detroit Become Human, like you could make that in makeup. You know what I mean? Like they're little.
You could easily, yeah.
But it's just something about it looking natural. It looking like they're a real android.
Sure, yeah.
It's just something else.
Well, like when the skin disappears and shit, and you get to see like the under stuff, like that's fucking amazing. Like I didn't think that was like a detail. You know what I mean? Like that's a layer that gets revealed as you go through, and it's like it's nuts. That's Yeeson, welcome in, dude.
Yeah, it's like something that you can achieve in the real world with special effects, but if everything in its entirety is in special effects, then it just like you will get lost, so it's just like magical stuff. But
great.
The end of that one, just because I wanted to just hype that game up like crazy, because
heck
it's so good.
If you guys haven't played Detroit Become Human, it's been on sale for a little bit, on and off, like over the past few weeks. Please check it out. Like I sincerely believe it will change the way you think about things, and like many games, like there's ups and downs in certain areas, but I thoroughly enjoyed the experience, and I would say like it definitely shed more light in the whole like AI, questioning what consciousness is and like all that. It does all of it. So
showcasing humanity, and it's like, and it's also like, whenever I buy a game, like we've talked about this a bunch of times before, but like whenever I want to buy a game, like I want to know I'm going to get the value out of it. In this game, like already I've felt the value out of it. It's not even my game. I'm borrowing it from somebody. But I'm already finding the value on it, and I'm already knowing that I would want to play it again. Like, that's what you want in a video game forever. So it's great. 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. 2 out of 2 would thumb up again after playing it again.
Thumbs way up. So that's I think a good thing to start with, because it kind of gets us into that that sci-fi, that spacey vibe.
Well, let's talk about more future stuff coming in.
Stars in the universe. Let's talk about real science, dude.
Yeah, let's move into it. Oddly Gaming, dude. Oddly, thanks for that raid, dude. Welcome in, everybody. For those of you guys who are coming in late, no worries. I'm KonkyTalks64.
I'm R2Lee2, duh.
And this is the XP Talk Show. We do this talk show every week, 7:30, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And we essentially are very passionate human beings about scientific discoveries and just philosophy, whatever, expanding our brains. And we try to share this information with as many people as possible. This show came about from just regular conversations me and Lee had, and turned into an online thing. So thank you for joining our discussion. Oddly, thank you for bringing everybody in. Oddly, how was the stream? What were you playing?
Do tell. Share with the world.
Yatsubasa says, again, I want to hype a bit of checking out Brian Dechart's stream. Oh, yeah. So Brian Dechart or Deckert, Brian Deckert, he is Connor and he streams.
Oh, shit. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. So he has like, I don't know if he's got the videos highlighted, but apparently he talks through the game in depth while he's playing through it. So that's super cool.
I love the layers to it, dude. Like, I love that. So another quick side tangent. This is not going to be a full conversation here, but like, I am a huge fan of the show Westworld. Okay. And Elaine is now watching it for the first time, which is just magical to watch someone go through that the first time. You know what I mean? But like, Westworld's a great example of just the fact that like you see it once and you're like, that's great. But there's so many layers to it that are not only like things that you missed in the show, but like stuff they didn't talk about, you know, perceptions from the writers and like the direction of the storyline that they were trying to pursue based off of the creative process and like all these different things that just make it such a beautiful, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, people that are being creative are kicking ass as of late.
Dude, yes.
Let's just put it that way, you know. So I just want to see more people do it, you know.
Ghastly, welcome back. Zeem, sweetie, is that your name? Or I'll just call you sweetie. Welcome in. Ghastly, good to see you.
Mr. Mish.
Oddly was playing Minecraft to see how his wrists are feeling. Well, I hope they're healing all up, man. Did you get surgery or something? I know you were wearing a brace and everything.
Damn.
Top Fox, dude, what is up, man? I love you too.
I miss you, dude. I miss you a lot.
Miss you too, dude.
You're a sweet, sweet baby, and I hope you're doing well. I'm better at Overwatch than you. So you know.
Dude, I was talking, we were talking about AI yesterday a little bit from Ex Machina, and a lot of people were commenting about like AI and like the worry about AI, and I was listening to a podcast recently about AI and how it will be developed and how you can develop a humane artificial intelligence by introducing it to it to like human like values and introducing it to like, you know, liking humans essentially. And the reason why the topic of Ex Machina got brought up was because, you know, that guy, that whole spoiler alert, this at the end of the movie, please watch it if you haven't already.
Come on.
If you haven't already,
spoilers.
Let me just tell you really quick. Go fuck yourself. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's so good. Like seriously, please go see that movie. But yeah, so the whole reason why that robot is a sociopath is because her owner was a sociopath. So she learned it directly from him based on his behavior and the environment. Yeah. So like that's the whole, like once you know that, like you know how this thing is going to act because that's all it knows. So it doesn't value human life like her owner doesn't, you know what I mean? So it's super fucking cool.
I just think that like, I think, you know, so this is, so getting into some of the scientific stuff, and this is related, this is a pretty decent segue, right? Is the fact that like I'm going to put this as plainly as possible, but I mean every minute, every second of it, right?
Sure.
Where like scientists know what the fuck they're doing. You know what I mean?
For the most part, yes.
Like I said, I know that sounds silly, right? And I know some of them don't know what they're doing. I understand that. But like when you like, so the world of science involves an unbelievable amount of layers, right?
Yeah.
So as an example, so we're going to get into the some of the other scientific stuff. Steve's got a really great topic, and I got just a fun little piece of news that happened from China. Is that like I watched a show recently called 7 Days Out on Netflix, right? And it's a show that literally, as it's described, it just talks about the 7-day lead up to some monumentous event of some kind. So like the Kentucky Derby or like the dog show, Best in Show kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So one of the episodes was from the Cassini mission when they drove the probe into the planet to
Okay.
destroy it on purpose, right? So it was 7 days leading up to that. So they talk about the whole lead up and all the stuff that they have to do and stuff like that. But just thinking about the fact that you have to send precise, like to the to the 10th and 10th of the degree, like all this precision data to a probe that's millions of miles away,
Right.
to hit a target that's like 20 yards or whatever,
Yeah.
is just unfathomable. It's unbelievable, right?
Agreed. Yeah.
So they have to go through so many checks and balances to make sure that this works with all this math and all this science, that like
Mm-hmm.
when people just like doubt science or scientists, it like sometimes it's just like, do you know what they do?
Right.
Do you know what they have to understand, to make just anything happen?
Yeah.
Is just like we see it and it's like, oh yeah, cool. That's a space.
It's
probe.
all surface level. You know?
Like everybody thinks it is surface level, but they don't understand how much underlying information goes with it. So that's my side quick little tangent there. But
no worries.
Yeah.
So hold on really quick. So it looks like Oddly Gaming said he heard it at work carrying boxes, then heard it again on New Year's by falling on it. Oh, I'm so sorry, dude.
Oddly, man. We need to get some fixed, baby.
Yeah. I mean, my suggestion for it, like, obviously get some rest. The wrist guards will help. If you need to strengthen your wrists, I mean, that's a big one too. Like, body weight stuff is really useful, but don't overdo it. You're going to need some like physical therapy probably for those.
Get the thing that's like I just watched Doctor Strange when he's like rehabilitating himself. It's like a little stretchy thing. Anyway, that's beside the point.
Gotcha. And then Sir Batman says that's why he suggests watching Chappie after Ex Machina, because the AI started off its life with the mind of a baby. I agree. So like I saw Chappie before I saw Ex Machina, and I thought it like made sense to me. Like I need to watch Chappie again, because I really like, even though it had a lot of people didn't like that movie because of Die Antwoord and like some other action shit, but I thought like the whole AI thing, like Chappie being an AI robot and like all of that, I thought that was really well done. I enjoyed that movie very much.
For those of you who are a fan of Chappie, you have to check out Neil Bloomberg's project on YouTube. Is it
Yatsubasa,
Bloomberg or
you and me
Bloomcamp?
are in the
I'm
same.
sorry.
Bloomcamp.
Not Neil Bloomberg. God, I'm a fucking idiot.
That's all right. There's probably somebody out there with Bloomberg as the last name.
Yes. Okay. It is his YouTube stuff, because so Neil Blomkamp, he directed District 9, Elysium, he directed Chappie and stuff like that. So this is kind of totally relevant. You have to check out his YouTube page, Oats Studios. Burpee burp.
Bless you.
Oats Studios on YouTube. If we can get someone to link that in the chat, that'd be super sad. Not super
sad.
He does these like little short films that are super science fiction and amazing, but they tap into a lot of other stuff, and they're fucking wonderful. And they're just like video shorts, and I want him to make a full length movie out of some of this stuff.
I'm sure he's just like playing around with it. Those are probably like, ideas that he could pitch to somebody to produce.
Dude, just brilliant. But he needs to do all of it.
I agree.
He needs his visual effects team. He needs his writing team. He needs to direct it. It's just great stuff. I love science fiction. It's like that's I think the whole culmination of this discussion leading up to this point.
Oh yeah.
But let's talk about science. Let's get some.
So we got some articles that we choose every week in the XP Talk Show, and one of the articles I came across has to do with engineering or genetic engineering for crops. So the title for this, or what this is presented by, is it's actually from Illinois. So the Robert Emerson Professor of Plant Science and Crop Scientists found the headline essentially is they engineer a shortcut for photosynthetic production to boost crop growth by 40%. So overall, this article goes through like the amount of research that they've gone through, how they found a quote unquote glitch in like the genetic code for crops and can exploit the glitch to create stronger, taller, and faster plants, up to 40% more in biomass and up to 50% larger stems so that they can be reused. It's fucking amazing. So like something like this, like will take care of the whole, food problem that we have.
That food problem around the planet.
Yeah. Especially, around the planet. But overall, like this is, I don't know how to really explain it other than it's a crazy discovery. The fact that like they can find a genetic glitch and exploit it and cause like a plant to grow faster because of it.
Well, it's the idea. So as what's coming in the news pretty consistently as of late is the whole idea of gene editing. And when did we map the human? That's it. So that's it. So sick. So if you think about it, like the mapping of the human genome is where this all kind of began to some degree. And those of you who don't know quite of it, but it's like in 2003, which is only 15 years ago, was when we were able to map entirely the human genome. So basically writing out like the DNA strands of a human of humans to basically just write the book on how humans are put together down to their DNA level, right? So once that happened, like all this stuff is starting to come out as of late, where it's like we're able to not only map different things from a DNA perspective, but be able to edit and modify and like basically control. To
see you, Yatsubasa. What that is, appreciate you.
You're muted for a second, homie. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
Okay. So here's the excerpt that I want to read really quick. So, the team tested their hypotheses on tobacco, an ideal model plant for crop research because it's easier to modify and test than food crops. Yet, unlike alternate plant models, it develops a leaf canopy and can be tested in the field. Now, the team is translating these findings to boost the yield of soybean, cowpea, rice, potato, tomato, and eggplant.
Cow pee-pee?
God damn it.
You say cow pee-pee?
No, cowpea.
You say cow pee?
Like, cowpea, like PEA, not like urine. Not urine.
Like the pee from a cow.
No, it's just called, it's a crop called cowpea.
Steve, you said cowpea.
I know what I said! So Robisco has even more trouble picking out carbon dioxide from oxygen as it gets hotter, causing more photorespiration, which means
think about
a respiratory process in many higher plants by which they take up oxygen in the light and give out some carbon dioxide. Contrary, right?
Fucking plants that breathe, guys. What? Oh.
So the goal for this is to build better plants that can take the heat today and in the future to help equip farmers with the technology they need to feed the world. So that's a fucking huge statement. I wouldn't be. I'm hoping that this doesn't just get like taken over by some fucking company. I would hate to see Monsanto do that. Like Monsanto does this with genetically modified crops right now with corn.
So I'm actually glad you said that because so basically what you're describing is just the editing of the DNA of plants to be able to control how they grow in certain different ways. Now, the difference of that and genetically modified is that the genetically modified plants, which are not bad anyway, like let's get that straight and understood, is that like genetically modified organisms is not bad. Like we need to understand that, but
to a certain degree. What I mean by that is like there are certain plants that the purpose they're genetically modified is to be controlled and not be a plant so much. And I can explain a little bit more on that after you're done.
Well, that was just about it. It's just like understanding that like adding different things from like a growth perspective, where it's like you're introducing a new sort of element to be able to modify that that plant or whatever it is different than, customizing its DNA to some degree. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like, taboo around GMOs and all that, and the reason it's coming about, it primarily has to do with the negative things that are associated with it, like Monsanto Corporation controlling corn. So, like, for those of you guys who don't know about Monsanto Corp, they're primarily responsible for pesticides and also a genetically modified, I believe they do soybeans as well, but the corn, genetically modified corn is the one I'm super familiar with. And so what they do is they have a patent on the seed, which allows them to sue farmers who grow that unauthorized in a certain respect. So the problem with like the way this is set up and how plants fucking work is that if you, let's say 3 out of the 4 farmers around a area have Monsanto seed, these seeds are only expected to yield once, in which case you have to buy more seed from Monsanto or a Monsanto representative, as opposed to like reusing the seed and being able to replant. You have to go out to somebody and like purchase these things, and then these farmers are under contract. And since this is a patented seed, let's say you're that 4th farmer without Monsanto seed, they have testing kits where they go out to these people's farms and then they test the seed that they have to see if they test positive for Monsanto genetic code. And if they do, then they sue the farmer. Now,
that's so nuts.
It is. It's a form of control. And as a farmer, you don't really have the funds really to fight a multi-billion-dollar corporation who's, responsible for like a huge amount of product. And so what ends up happening is these farmers either sell their farms to Monsanto or like succumb to the lawsuit, or they agree to contractually work for Monsanto and sell and use their seed from going forward. So it's
corporations did.
Right. And that's where like the genetic modified shit gets a bad rap. I mean, over time, like we've gotten seedless watermelons, we've gotten bananas with more sugar in them for whatever reason. Like there's a lot of benefits to genetically modified crops, but that's where a majority of like the bad rap comes from.
Mm-hmm. I think again, that big distinguishing difference is that pesticide introduction of some sort of weird thing that people are unfamiliar with,
right?
Whether it's true or not, that actually is good for that plant. It's just the unfamiliarity with what ingredients being added to that plant to modify it,
right?
Whereas what you're talking about, I think, with the difference in that DNA editing, I think that is just kind of starting fresh or starting from the beginning. Right. And like it's different from the debate that's happening with the first twins that were, DNA modified as of recently in China.
Mm-hmm.
That was a controversial thing because the guy kind of went under the radar in China to be able to do it.
Right.
But like, which is understandable. I'm totally for it. Like from a kind of a bird's eye view, but I think it's, when it comes to our food sources, like if they're doing it for the reason of, Earth sustainability and growth for food for all humans and like all this other stuff, in a world that's now forever changing because of global warming and climate change and stuff, then we gotta do something. We
gotta do something.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy out there.
Well, it's a crazy, man.
But you want to sway into my topic of that?
Heck yeah.
This one's gonna be short and sweet. So I think we could do short and sweet, and then just get into some games.
Let's do it. Before we move on to what you're talking about, I just want to reiterate that if you guys would like to read any articles that we talk about, they are available in the Discord. You guys can also submit your own articles, and we do go over them. So if you want to check it out, feel free to join right there.
Sick, dude.
Lee, go ahead, take us away.
Yeah, just stay up to date. We'll do the summary crap at the end, but just like stay up to date with us in general. Check us out on the internet everywhere. But so speaking of China, right?
China.
So something else happened in the news as of recently, as of January 2nd, I think. January 3rd, January 2nd, something like that. Yeah, 10:26 Beijing time. as of January 3rd, so that'd be January 2nd. I don't know. Anyway, recently, a couple days ago, there was the first soft landed rover / probe that landed on the dark side of the moon from the Chinese Space Agency. Right now, what does that mean? So at the very beginning, so like the first time that we've ever touched anything down on the dark side of the moon. This is the first time. So a couple things about that. So dark side of the moon, we all know Pink Floyd. It's like that kind of, but what happened was, or what happens with the moon is that it's in this like perfect, orbit rotation along with our orbit that we never see a certain side of the moon, from our direction, right? So there's always this dark side of the moon. So
sure, yeah.
But that moon does not get sunlight. It's not quite literally a dark side of the moon,
right?
Because the back of it can still hit sunlight based off of its rotation
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. So the Chinese Space Agency was like, "Fuck it, let's put a goddamn rover up there." So they shot this is fascinating in of itself. Like they shot the rocket on like December 7th, and then a few days later they're at the moon, right? So then they were just orbiting the moon.
Yeah.
And then leading up to yesterday was when they dropped the lander down to do some exploring on the surface. So it's just so fascinating, right? So going back to some of the scientific data, it's like you just think about that objectively. It's like, okay, yeah, I could build a rocket in my backyard, but the amount of information that you truly have to know to be able to get the payload up there, to be able to get it on the landing spot where you want it, to be able to get all the data that possibly can leading up to that point and while it's on there. I mean, just like layers upon layers of the stuff. So so no one has ever so this is fascinating in itself. No one has ever been to the dark side of the moon or landed something on it specifically. We've gathered data from it, but the other trouble about the dark side of the moon is that communication gets cut off. If you have
because you got a whole planet on the other side, right?
The moon is in the way, so there's no way to get the data around it. So so what they figured out is that they're using this satellite that essentially brought it there, the orbiter and the satellite, to essentially relay the information. So imagine like a mirror, like a casting a light, like a flashlight. When you shine a flashlight,
but for a signal,
for an angle, right? But it's for communication and signal, right?
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Right. So it's super cool. So like, so they're just gonna gather some data because, as we all know, the moon was this like other planet-sized rock essentially that hit Earth, that smashed into it and then just like created our orbit, or created the cooling of our planet based off of its gravitational pull, to the point where now it's the moon, right? So we owe everything to our moon essentially, right? And so so what's fascinating about that is it's the fact that like that other side of that moon has just tons of like billions of year old data of rocks and of just particles and stuff like that we really haven't researched very much,
because we've only seen from the side that's facing us.
Well, we've seen stuff from the side that's facing us based off of all the astronauts that have landed on the moon.
Well, what about like the rotation of the moon, though? Doesn't the moon rotate?
The moon does, so that's why there's a dark side of the moon, is that it orbits, but our orbit matches it to the perfect degree where it's basically like, think about it this way. I thought about this analogy. So think about, that thing you do when you're in you're in your backyard, you got your best friend, you're holding them by the hands and you guys swing around.
Sure, yeah.
It's kind of like that. Where
where you only see the front of them.
So you're pulling at each other and you're only seeing the front side of it, right?
Gotcha.
Our orbit still pulls, but just it just doesn't particularly work like where the moon will spin.
Okay, so we never had like a rover on the other side of the planet?
Never.
Or on the other planet of the moon? Really?
On the other side of the moon, never.
Wow.
We've had orbiters. We've had astronauts orbit the entirety of the moon, but little data was found because of a lot of that communication interruption. Like
interesting,
blocking with the moon, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a fascinating thing. So we now have a rover on the moon. America has usually been the leader of moon data, but this is kind of interesting that China has now got this on their bill. So, but it's again fascinating, right? So I'm just interested to see what kind of data. Like all scientists around the world are just like really fascinated by this, and they're excited to see what data comes from it. But that important thing is that they have the orbiter that is relaying that communication data, like again, shining a flashlight or a laser pointer at a mirror at an angle.
Interesting.
It like bounces off of it, so that's how that information is going to come back to Earth to see what happens.
I hope they find something really cool, or at least like
there could be anything in there. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Just the fact that it's something that has never been done before, right? Just as the other thing that happened, I actually didn't tell you that I wanted to talk about this, but I'll just mention it briefly. Is that New Horizons spacecraft that now has gathered data from the furthest point and sent it back. The furthest point that we've ever sent anything.
Really?
Yeah, New Horizons is like...
Oh, yeah, they're downloading photos over the course of like days, months, or whatever because of the signal, because, right?
It's called Ultima something. It's this like asteroid. It looks like a snowman that's towards
connected.
Like just in the outer reaches of our solar system. And any data, I'm telling you, any data that we gather about our solar system is going to tell us how our planet came, what the future of our planet holds, what the future of our species hold. So like all this data, that's why it's so important, and why I would love to, start that like donation page as you've done with maps, just some sort of planet like the Planetary Society,
yeah,
or JPL or something like that, where it's just like
I was thinking about doing. They had like an Earth Defense Fund where like people could donate to like help fund the future of asteroid protection for Earth.
Yeah, and that's a perfect example where it's like asteroids are kind of a threat, and
very much so
needs to be done about it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So like asteroids have struck the Earth. We're just lucky that they haven't destroyed anything of vast importance.
Right. Well, was it what was that asteroid that hit like the flattened like 12 kilometers of forest or whatever?
It was in Russia.
Tunguska, is that what it was?
Something like that. I think it was in Russia or Ukraine or something like that.
Yeah, Tunguska in 1908.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
Yeah.
Like as of recently, there was one that like hit like a 1,000 miles outside of a city, or like 100 miles out of a city, something like that, and the shock wave just like smashed windows like for a multi-mile.
I remember hearing about that too.
That was in like Russia somewhere or something like that.
Yeah.
But so just science and space exploration, and then
oh my god, dude, it flattened 2,000 kilometers of forest. 770 square miles.
Like space is scary, but we also need to know more about it, and we need to be prepared for it. 1,000%.
Damn.
Like, sorry to say it, but 1,000%.
1,000%, dude.
Right? It's not even a fucking number. I mean it so seriously.
Awesome. Well,
that's my science. Again, short and sweet. It's all I needed.
That's our science segments for the show this week. A little shorter this week here, but no worries. Do you guys have any questions for us about the talk show, for me and Lee specifically, whether it's about like genetically modified crops or anything that you want to get us our opinions on? We're not experts, of course, but if you guys want to know like what our thoughts are, that's where this segment comes into
stuff. Like, just to, again, reiterate, it's like, when Elaine asks me some things about space, and I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I'm completely confident in the fact that I don't know everything about space. But just the fact that I could be excited about it is just why I love it. I could be passionate about these things and like different scientific elements. And Steve, I know you're the same, where it's just like, you could say, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You could be completely comfortable with saying, I don't know. And I encourage that with everybody out there, where it's like, be passionate about something, but equally as much, like, be okay with saying, I don't know about that subject,
and just try to find out more about it if you can.
Exactly. Like, just use that as fuel to then find the answer to the question you don't know. Drop that mic, dude.
I just like jumped into the Wikipedia for like asteroid impacts, and goddamn,
yeah, bad idea.
2,100 million years old. Are you fucking serious?
But some of the stuff, some of like the asteroid impacts that we know on the planet, like that we can see and that we can understand. Like, for example, here. So, here, 1 second.
Dude, they have this amazing. Let me send you this map so you can like look at it, because like it's literally a map of where all of them are in the world. Here, you guys can take a look too.
All the asteroid hits, right?
Yeah, let me I sent it to you and the Google Hangouts.
Oh gosh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that's super sick though.
Isn't that fucking nuts? I didn't know we had this on Wikipedia.
See, here's another thing. This is exact. I'm glad you brought this up. So so the what? No, what? Fuck you.
Wow.
So the Chicxulub, CHICXULUB, in the Gulf of Mexico, was basically the asteroid impact that like wiped out all the
dinosaurs.
And so like when you look at the Gulf of Mexico, and you always just knew it as a gulf. You knew it as like an enclosed lake, like an open lake into the ocean. But when you look at it just objectively and you know that it's a crater impact,
it's a scar.
It's a scar on the fucking planet. And it's surrounded by, of surface and there's water. It's just like crazy to conceptualize.
So crazy, dude. I just think about it makes me think about the second impact that they found in Germany, like 21 or was it 12,800 years ago?
Something like that. Something around those parts. But that's it. Yeah, it's like we're gonna see more and more of this stuff. We got to protect ourselves from it, and we gotta use the science to be able to protect us from it.
The diameter of that one was 150 kilometers, bro. The one that destroyed the dinosaurs.
Metric system, dog.
Just to give you guys, I mean, I know you guys, to give you guys perspective in terms of the what that does to the planet before it even hits. You're talking about 1,000 years of just fire in every fucking area that has had forest. You're talking about it would destroy not only the area around it, but it would abnormally shift all things weather, all things oh God, it's just
we have our Earth is it is a snow globe. Think of a snow globe as an example, right? But the snow globe has the thinnest fucking shell on the outside, right? Mm-hmm. So the damage to any of that is catastrophic. It's catastrophic.
So nuts, dude.
That just permanently damages this kind of stuff. So it's
damn.
Obviously, we hope it doesn't happen, right? And the probability of it causing kind of Earth destroying damage the probability is low, but at the same time, it's not impossible. So it's being able to understand that danger and that threat, then just doing anything to be able to combat it is what we need to do.
Or at least we need to understand our cosmic environment.
Woo!
Is what we need to do.
Giant, cool space transport. Let's build a space transport. I want to build a space transport.
It's built a space transport, dude.
Science fiction is real, man. Science fiction becomes real all the time. We're gonna laugh, dude. We're gonna laugh that we're talking about spaceports and space transports. Fucking 100 years from now, there's gonna be space transports.
I think less than that, boy.
I hope not less than that, but yes, that's possible too.
I want to go to space for $150, man.
We'll get there pretty soon.
Let's go.
We'll see.
All right, perfect. So if nobody has any questions for us, this is the part where we end the talk show. For those of you guys who don't know, the podcast talk show Talkcast, the XP occurs every week, 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. Central Time. If it is not happening, we usually let you guys know well beforehand. You guys can support us by hosting the channel like many of you have. I appreciate it.
To y'all.
All of it. All the subs, all of the support you guys show us every week is just, it's great. And if you'd like to join the discussion, please jump in the Discord. If you'd like to support yourself and support the show, you can check us our affiliated company on it. I can kind of attest to what Onnit's been doing. I've been using their products for about 5 years, their workout equipment. If you'd rather not buy anything on that website, there is a huge amount of research that is available for free about diet, exercise, whatever you're looking to improve. And it's all backed by science, including their supplements. I know a lot of people are getting sick.
Weird, right?
Well, it's part of that season, right? So that weather changes. Obviously, diet has a huge part into it based on how resilient you can be. But there's an awesome supplement that Onnit sells called Shroom Tech Immune. That is they take the cordyceps mushroom and they isolate the probiotic properties that boost your immune system. And so, just to give you guys, this is not a bullshit story. I went to a holiday party for a Christmas party with my family, and the kids were sick. And I was playing with them, and I was holding their hands and all that shit. And I was the only one outside of Leia who did not get sick at all. No sickness. Everybody got sick. My best friend James got sick. Christina, my sister, is still sick. Her boyfriend is sick. I don't think it's just that supplement. Obviously, it's diet and all that other stuff, but it definitely helped. So please check it out if you can. If you'd like to, new year, new me with some new fitness information and supplements. Take care of yourself.
Take care of your belly and take care of your butt.
The two things that are really important.
True that. Okay.
All right, we're going to take a little break and then we're going to get into some Overwatch. Lee, I'm going to grab some water. So as soon as we end, I'm just going to jump off here and then we'll jump on the Discord. Sound good?
Got to get into some cozy pants too. But thank you guys for joining us. We truly appreciate everyone being here every week. So again, every week, Thursday, 7:30-ish Central Standard Time, we usually do the show. So just check us out. Follow us out. Hang with us, dude.
Hang with us, dude. All right, bros. We'll see you guys later. I love you. We're gonna play some Overwatch after this. After a little break.
We'll be right back, guys.
See you soon. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Tab with that synthetic sundown, 45 minutes till the shit set it. Check it for the kid, I had a chin check him, big move, and we teaching big lessons over here. 2-4 coming heavy like we bench pressing, and I'm gonna deliver every time just like a sent message. In the south, then I'm feeling like a pimp, you a simp, I don't feel bad for you, I ain't sympathetic. I just hit the peak, got the kids